shooting at the Jacksonville Landing.
Good evening. It is a somber day for Jacksonville. A deadly mass shooting at the Jacksonville Landing leaves several people dead. Good evening. I'm Jeannie Blaylock.
And I'm Anthony Austin. So here's what we know at this hour. At least 4 people are dead, 11 others injured. We're told the lone suspect is also dead, and he died from a self-inflicted wound. But we're working to get information on whether his death is included in that death count number and get the latest numbers for you. We know that this shooting happened early this afternoon at a restaurant at the Landing where a Madden gaming tournament was taking place.
And as you can imagine, it was a chaotic scene at the Landing. People were frantic. They were being told, run, run. They were hiding wherever they could to find shelter. This is, of course, still a developing story, and we have live extensive team coverage for you tonight. We have crews at local hospitals where victims are being treated and crews at the scene at the Jacksonville Landing. Let's start tonight with Heather Crawford. Heather?
Well, Jeannie, here at the Landing, as you can see behind me, it is still all roped off with police tape. Florida Highway Patrol's here. We've had reports of the FBI being on scene, and the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and FDLE are right now on the scene continuing to investigate. They tell us that the scene is secure, but I have talked to numerous witnesses, a group of people I just spoke to, who were headed to that gaming event, that Madden tournament, when they said someone just ran out and said there's a shooter. And instead of running away from the scene, these 4 people I just spoke with told me they were running to the scene. And they just described hearing screams and seeing people coming out covered in blood who had been shot. You know, this is the Jacksonville Landing. This is a landmark in our city. This is not supposed to happen here. And I've heard so many people say, on the multiple mass shootings that I've covered, it's not supposed to happen here. This wasn't supposed to happen in Jacksonville, and yet it did. And so now the question everyone is asking, why did it happen? What's the motive? We are still working, as police are, to learn the motive behind the shooting. The suspect, the lone suspect, police tell us, is dead. But so many questions. And just as far as the Madden tournament goes, people were there yesterday. They came back today. It was a lot of people from out of town who were at that tournament taking part in the game. And for whatever reason, someone opened fire. We know that 4 people have been killed, 11 people have been injured. I just spoke to a woman whose husband was working at the Landing, not at that gaming event, but nearby. And she came here just frantic, trying to find out, is her husband okay? Was he injured? She's gotten word through a friend of a friend of a friend that he made it out alive, but she thinks his cell phone's still inside, so she doesn't know where he is. She doesn't know how to get in touch with him. And that is what we're hearing from people who are surrounding this area right now. A huge media presence here, a huge police presence here, and then people coming to see if their loved ones are okay. We are continuing to stay on the scene right down the road by the Wells Fargo building. We saw the SWAT team and we saw the bomb squad send in a robotic device to check to see if there might be a bomb. We have not gotten any word about that yet right now, but we are keeping a close eye on that situation. This still very active, fluid situation here at the Jacksonville Landing, where there today was a mass shooting this afternoon, but according to police, the situation has been cleared. Jeannie and Anthony, will send it back to you.
Now, that Reginald Gaffney interview you heard earlier, that was actually conducted by our co-anchor Heather Crawford, and Heather is joining us live now from the Jacksonville Landing with more. Heather.
Anthony, it is eerily quiet out here. We've heard some sirens go by, but just to set the scene for you, we are along Bay Street, and you see fire and police trucks, cars roped off here right in front of the Wells Fargo building, blocking off any access to the Jacksonville Landing. I've been out here, I was speaking with Councilman Gaffney. I also want to bring in Garrett Chastain. Garrett, he is a gamer. He came here to Jacksonville for this Madden tournament. You were there at Chicago Pizza yesterday, and you were telling me this tournament brings in people from all over the country.
Absolutely, it's everywhere. Anywhere you could think of, probably someone came from there. Some of the bigger names have come from Seattle. Some people are coming from Texas, Dallas, just everywhere. There's going to be 3 more events like this across country. I know there's one in the next, actually all 3 of them are in the next month.
And so you were there yesterday. You told me you went back to your hotel room today, and then you were coming back over. And describe what you've seen and what you've heard from your fellow gamers.
So what I've seen is just, I was just seeing officers roll by as I was on my way over. I had just left the hotel, I think, honestly about 10 minutes before the shots happened. There's a clip circulating around that you can hear the gunshots, and it's probably not as disturbing as it is hearing it than it is in person, but I saw that. Some of them I knew. I didn't know them too well, but I knew them through other people that I played with. They knew them really well. It's a really just great. It was a great community. They're all really nice people. Just an innocent person just got upset. It looks like, and took out his unfortunate anger.
I know you've been monitoring social media, trying to find out if your friends are okay. Have you found out, or are they safe? Did they make it out okay?
I'm not too sure on anything specific. I know, as far as I've seen, 10 injured, 4 possibly dead. I'm not too sure if they are or not. They were hopefully taken to the local medical facility as soon as possible.
And so now, I mean, what do? You came in town for this tournament, and what are you doing now?
I really just hope I really hope everyone makes it out okay, even the people that are injured. It's just sad. This shouldn't happen. It should honestly never happen. I'm not going to blame guns for this. It's a person's actions that got upset. It's really just unfortunate and absolutely ridiculous.
Have you talked to your parents and told them you're okay?
I have talked to family members and coworkers back in home. They're really fortunate I'm okay. I'm really glad I'm okay, but I'm more concerned for the others.
And has that been going through your head? That could have been you in there.
Well, I was planning on going there this morning and being there all day just to see what happens, whether I was competing or not. And I just decided, no, I'm going to stay in the hotel for a little bit, wait till like more interesting games start playing and head over there. And on it, like almost right after I left the hotel, it had to have happened from what I know.
Garrett, I'm so glad you weren't in there. I know it's a very difficult day, and people are walking around saying this violence has to end. I heard people saying we haven't come up with a solution yet. What is the solution? People just in dismay. Councilman Gaffney told me, you hear about mass shootings happening other places, not here. But today, unfortunately, it did happen at the Jacksonville Landing. Right now, it is still roped off. We're awaiting an update from Sheriff Mike Williams. That's supposed to take place in just a little while. But it's a sad day in Jacksonville. Jeannie and Anthony.